In this video, we're going to be taking a look at my new favorite RPG tool for character creation, Hero Forge 2.0. Hi everybody, my name is Nate, and you are watching WASD20, a channel about tabletop RPGs and fantasy maps. In this video, we're going to be talking about Hero Forge. This one is sponsored by Hero Forge. They've been a sponsor of mine for about a year now, and I really love working with them because I believe so strongly in what Hero Forge has to offer. I genuinely think it's an amazing tool, and as a game master and as a player, I highly recommend people check it out. Even going over to their website and just playing around with their character builder for free is a great experience. Best of all, Hero Forge has a Black Friday sale going on right now, so you can actually get STL files for about half price. $3.99. You can create your own custom miniature, and then you can download the STL file to print it on your own 3D printer for $3.99, and they have $5 off all physical miniatures shipped directly to your house if you use the code EPICLOOT. I'll put details down in the video description, but this is a killer deal. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. It's pandemic times. We don't really get together and game in person that often anymore. Why would I want physical miniatures? Well, I'll tell you, first of all, I'm still buying lots and lots of miniatures, and I'm actually taking advantage of some of the pandemic times to paint some more miniatures and prepare for that day when eventually we will game in person again. Secondly, even if we never game in person again, I still like miniatures. They're awesome. I like to paint them. I like to set them on my shelf. They're just great. Thirdly, Hero Forge has undergone some major changes in the last few months with the release of Hero Forge 2.0, and there are some awesome new tools that I use in my digital gaming for my virtual tabletop and for promotional materials for my games. Hero Forge, in my opinion, has also become the ultimate character portrait creator and more. So keep watching and you'll definitely see some of those awesome tools shown off in this video as well. But where we're going to start is I am going to create a Hero Forge miniature, and I'm going to order it, shipped to my house, and you'll see me unboxing it. Let's do it. All right, so here we are in the character builder, and right off the bat, when I jumped in here in like early September or something when Hero Forge 2.0 came out, I was just blown away because it looks totally different. They've really revamped it. So if you've tried Hero Forge in the past, it was already awesome, but now it's even better. Now, if we go up here to my heroes, we can see a ton of heroes. Most of these my son has actually created. He's a real big fan. He spends hours and hours just creating characters. I have a whole folder for him over here that I haven't finished yet, but I also have this folder right here for my player characters for the Icewind Dale campaign, which, by the way, we stream every other Monday on WASD20 Live. I'll put a link to that series right up at the top if you want to check them out. Our next game is Monday, November 30. But anyway, for this one, we are actually going to be creating a new character. All right, now I'm going to be speeding it up quite a bit because the video was about 28 minutes and you don't want to sit through all that. This first part, I am selecting my species. Species is your race, and the one I eventually settle on is the lizard people. I just thought that would make a cool one. I wanted to get some cool colors in there, so some nice green skin and things like that. I thought would be really cool. Next up, I had to find a good pose. So for the poses, there's lots of preset poses you can choose from, but I always like to tweak them at least a little bit. Still, I knew I wanted to make a spellcaster, so I found one with his hand stretching out as if he was going to be casting a spell, and you'll notice I will tweak it a little bit later. Facial hair, eyes, teeth. With a lizard person, I'm just not going to mess with that too much. Same thing with body type and legs, but basically with all of these options, you actually can create your own custom species out of all this. Make them a little bit bigger without going up into that XL range where you got to pay a little more. Some various tail options, but I'm just going to stick with the default lizard tail. I think it looks great. Put some back spikes on there for a second, but decided against them. And then we get into the clothing. I love clothes shopping, so lots of great options here. You can choose from entire outfits or you can choose individual garments. For me, I did find some robes I really liked, but I ended up taking the hood off just because I wanted to be able to see the head. After perusing through various gloves and arm wraps, I decided to settle on the default ones that had come with my robes. I just liked them best. All right, so this next section gets into what you can put in their hand, and there are tons and tons of weapons. They are continuously adding more objects that your characters can be holding. For me, I wanted to get some cool spell effect. So after cycling through a few of those, I decided on this kind of magic missile looking thing here. Adjusted the angle a bit. Again, tons of ways you can customize the pose and just tweak it by turning the hand just a little bit and things like that. And on the other hand, I decided that he would be kind of cupping a flame, so a little bit of magic in each hand, and wanted to get a lot of bright colors in here. I had no idea prior to making this character, but you can actually make their tail holding objects too. How cool is that? I decided against it, but I did add a nice little spell book on his side, a nice little curved dagger on the other side, and then on the back, I decided to go with a staff after trying out several gigantic objects like cannons and laser guns and chainsaws and things like that. You can get really detailed with this stuff. They even have little rings you can put on their fingers in a few different styles. So I chose a ring and then decided against some of these cool face coverings because I wanted to be able to see their face. And then we get to the base. So as you can see here, there are quite a few different base shapes as well as textures and terrain and things like that. On a previous miniature that I had gotten from Hero Forge, I had gone with kind of the rocky base. So on this one, I decided, a wizard, I think I'm going to go with a little bit more of like a cobblestone. And then I also decided to add a familiar. So yes, you can add all sorts of objects to the base. Tried out a little dog or fox as well, but ended up going with a cat and some spell books. On the bottom of the base, you can inscribe some text, and so naturally I put WASD20 on the bottom. Kind of cool. And then we get to the color phase, and this is probably one of my favorite parts. I absolutely love it. They have so many different colors you can see here, and they're not just solid colors. There's kind of these nice gradients that include shades and highlights and different sorts of looks like metallic or cloth. So I did a lot of playing around with various skin tones, and then I went into some of the presets for the robes, which are really nice because it can be kind of a pain to select every little individual object and strap. So having these kind of presets for you to cycle through is really helpful. And then I did go in and I customized it a bit. So I think the presets pretty much colored everything for me, which again, I go in and I customize, but it was really nice just to be able to click a few buttons and cycle through some options, and then I can tweak from there. The kind of gradient on the gems here is really, really cool. It makes some really pretty stuff. You've got leathers, you've got metallics. For the cat, I decided to go with an orangish reddish color. Customizing the spell effects was really fun. There's so many beautiful options for this, and I think they've actually added more since I filmed this video. And they've also added object source lighting, exterior light sources. So you can actually make these spell effects look like they are kind of emitting a glow onto the rest of the miniature. So I ended up doing a lot more tweaking of some minor details here. And then it was time to place my order. So I wanted to order a color version of this miniature, the printed color. There are several different materials you can order them in, both colored and non-colored. And I definitely thought about ordering one of the painted ones, but those do get pretty pricey. Now it is nice that they show you here what your miniature might actually look like, because the colors as they come out of the 3D printer are not quite as vibrant as what you see here. So you see this bit more muted look. Still looks great, and we'll get to see the actual miniature in just a minute. Now, let's say you're not really feeling the miniatures right now. Maybe you're just not really going to use them for the near future because of COVID. Maybe you don't really like miniatures in the first place. Well, if that's the case, I think Hero Forge is still for you because you have this amazing booth option. And let's take a look at this. What this allows you to do is it allows you to make custom character portraits. So Hero Forge is not just a miniature builder, it is a character builder, and you can do all sorts of things with it, including these awesome character portraits. So this one right here, I have been using this a lot for my Icewind Dale thumbnails and other promotional materials, and I'll just put some pictures up here so you can see that, because this exports your image with a transparent background. So you design your character, the clothing, the gear, the pose, and you can choose the angle you want, and then you hit capture. and it will download this as an image with a transparent background that you can then use in Photoshop to put over other things like I've done, or you can choose one of these existing backgrounds, which are really nice, and then you can export like this and just have some cool character portraits for your characters. So I really love that. This environment stuff is that exterior light sources stuff I was talking about, and it's really awesome. So let's get some nice blue light going here, just a really bright blue maybe. So let's get a nice kind of orangish light here, and we can choose the angle of the light and all that stuff. There we go. Make it as if it's coming from that flame in his hand. You can turn the intensity up or down. In addition to the portraits, you also have a token maker, and this is really cool for your virtual tabletop needs. I've also used some tokens on the overlays for my stream, which is another really great use, but you can absolutely use these for a virtual tabletop. You can go in here, you can customize the color, and let's say you can choose different colors for different characters to kind of set them apart. Again, you can choose the environment and all that stuff. You can choose the background that they're gonna have back there as well. So tons and tons of options for character tokens as well. So this is all available with a subscription, which I think is somewhere between $5 and $10 a month, but you can get an annual subscription for somewhere in the neighborhood of $50. I'm not totally sure. With that subscription, you can just make as many character tokens as you want. You can even make them for your NPCs in your games and do your own custom NPC appearance and portraits and things like that. So yeah, I really appreciate that they've expanded their options here to include not just miniatures anymore, but it's really a character creation tool that has a lot of useful features. The other really cool thing is that you can share these with your friends. So let's say your DM wants to get character portraits of each one of the characters. You can actually just share it with the DM. Once you have it the way you want it, just click this share button, and then you can copy the link and send that to your DM, and then they can put all the portraits together and get the poses they want and make some cool stuff. All right, well, I think we're going to end our HeroForge.com portion here, and now I'm going to wait a few weeks for my physical miniature to show up at my house. And here it is. Just about 3 weeks after my purchase, the order came, and I'm very excited to see how they brought my vision to life. So it's all very well packaged, as you can see, and sure enough, turned out great. Let's take a closer look. Now that is a good looking miniature, man. The only thing I think we're missing is a name for him, so I'm gonna call him Yarzak the Sorcerer, and his faithful companion, Sumo the Cat. Now I do have a couple other Hero Forge color miniatures, and to be clear, the 3D printer they have actually prints these in color this way. It's some kind of witchcraft here. So this one was actually the first one they sent me, I think it was in January, and it's a prototype. You can see that the plastic is a little bit more shiny than the more recent ones, and then this more recent package they sent me in September as a little promotional package, and man, I really like these. There's a little frog guy, and there is a hobgoblin warrior, and they even included a set of dice. How nice. All right, that's going to do it for this one, everybody. Thank you so much to Hero Forge for sponsoring this one, and thank you to the WASD20 patrons. These amazing people are making it happen for me here at WASD20. They give on a monthly basis. They also get some pretty cool rewards like access to weekly live map drawing streams, as well as campaign diaries. So if you want to support and snag some of those cool rewards, check it out over at patreon.com/WASD20. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and take care, everybody. You'll see me again very soon.